Hey everyone, NW Order for Life here with Seven Deadly Sins, Episode 18 review. We start off right where we left off with the two Holy Knights, Guila and Hauser, standing up against the Great Holy Knight Dreyfus and Gilthunder, what I believe is called a Platinum Holy Knight, or maybe he's higher, I'm not sure, and the Helbram, the Knight Helbram and Jericho. And so they're having words really quick, and Hauser is saying, Diane's sacrificing herself to protect this boy from getting killed, and you guys have no problem killing the innocent. And Helbram is like, yeah, well, who cares? And Guila, don't you want to find out what happened to your father? And Gila's like, she already figured it out because Diane risked her life to save her brother, and yet Helbram was just about to kill her. And then Helbram goes, oh, or rather, Helbram was about to kill Gila's brother. And so Helbram goes, oh, I see, you're just like your father. And then they, begin to fight. Jericho tries to stop Guila, begging her because they're comrades and she doesn't want to fight her. But Guila and Hauser firmly take their stance. And as Dreyfus and everybody walk up to attack, Hauser uses a rising tornado to capture them in the tornado, and he tells Guila to shoot her fire explosion shot into the tornado, and they both do that, and they're trying to hold their powers together in this fire tornado. But unfortunately, Gilthunder was not caught in that tornado. Gilthunder appears behind Hauser and attempts to strike him, making Hauser let go of the tornado in order to block the strike. Dreyfus is unharmed. Helbram is lightly singed, nothing wrong with him really. Jericho took the brunt of the attack, and she's like pretty much out of commission. Then we have basically Dreyfus is about to kill. What was it, Helbram? One of them was about to kill Guila with an attack, and Gowther saves Guila, and Gowther announces himself as one of the seven deadly sins. He goes to attack Dreyfus, and Dreyfus instantly slashes right through his chest area, or rather his abdomen, I guess you would say, and yeah, more like right around here. And then Gowther is basically actually not dead, and what we see is all of Dreyfus's past memories. We see Meliodas hanging out and having a drink with Hendrickson and Dreyfus, and Meliodas is saying, yeah, because before that we saw that Dreyfus was getting a visit from, or went home to his son, and his son was saying something along the lines like, Dad, I think it was I think it was Gilthunder that his son was talking about. Like Gil was saying that his dad is stronger, or something of that nature, and or rather, yeah. What I don't know if the Great Knight Zaratas was Gilthunder's father. I forget now, but something along the lines like that. Oh, that he's stronger than you, and that would be like Dreyfus's older brother Zaratas, and Dreyfus is like, well, I don't really know. I never really fought my brother seriously. And then it's been bothering him. You see it's bothering Dreyfus. And Meliodas then later on, in the flashback right after, he says that that he thinks Dreyfus is better with the sword than Zaratas. But, and with a lot of practice and, willpower and things of that nature, that he could become greater than Zaratas. But he says that's probably not going to happen because, this is like an era of peace, and there's never going to be that point where you can sharpen your skills and things of that nature. And then Zaratas walks up to the table where Meliodas and Hendrickson and Dreyfus are eating, outside having a nice lunch or whatever they're doing, and all of a sudden as Dreyfus looks at him, he's bleeding. He sees him. Well, first, he sees an image of his brother, crucified and killed, the way we saw it previously. And then he just sees his brother standing there, walking slowly with blood dripping out, like pretty much like undead. And he's like, "You must atone for your sins. You must atone for your sins." And then we see, Dreyfus like breaking down and getting on the floor and holding his head and saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." And then we see Gowther appear right there, and Gowther calls the technique nightmare, and he says, "Human minds are so fragile." And then right when Gowther says he's about to leave and Dreyfus will never wake up, he says, "Who are you?" Which, who is he talking to? We don't know. But after that, um, Dreyfus comes out of the hypnosis, and basically Gowther falls like dead on the floor. It looks like he's dead anyway, because Dreyfus in the real world just takes the sword out of him. Gowther falls back unconscious, and Dreyfus is like, "Too bad. I'm the one that came back, and I'm gonna kill you." But as he's about to kill Gowther or whatever, strike him more, he has like this pain from when Gowther was fighting him a little bit before he put him in the like genjutsu like illusion. Yeah, he like punched Dreyfus really hard with these powerful punches, and really damaged Dreyfus a lot. So Dreyfus actually ends up retreating. Thanks, Gilthunder helps him, retreats. I think Helbram or someone grabs. I don't know if they grab Jericho. I think they do, but Helbram stays behind. Helbram is about to is going to eliminate Diane and Hauser and Guila, and he uses like a couple of techniques. He uses this black death mist or whatever. It's like death magic or something. I forget what he called it, and it made Hauser and Guila cough up blood and make them really weak. And then Diane, from all the abuse she took 2 episodes ago, an episode ago, all that combined, she gets up, she smashes him down with her fist, and she basically says that she's not going to let him do what he wants. And he, from being smashed into the ground, he makes this giant ice spear and impales her on the wall again. And they're all hurt, Hauser and Guila, and he wants to finish Diane off, and he's about to make like all these little icicles, to skewer her. And then King appears, and King blocks all of them with some kind of magic or whatever. They all crumble before they hit her. King is upset. He asks if they're the ones that hurt Diane. Diane says no, really weakly. She says that they protected her. It's Helbram, or it's that man. He's the one that did all this. And so King tells Helbram to retain it, to go back to his true form, because right now he's not going to be any match for King or something to that effect. Like, he won't be able to use his real power. So Helbram transforms into this elf, or rather a fairy. Just like King, a fairy, but he's definitely more fairy-like. He's got the fairy wings. He's got like the pointy ears. He looks young looking, and we see that, and then Helbram basically taunts King, says that King's chastiful and going to do nothing to him, and he uses like all these earth plants and like vines and stuff to continually beat down King, and kind of like play handball with King or something. Like, he's going back and forth, like this is King, like from one tentacle to the other tentacle and things of that nature, going back, bouncing. He makes fun of him for being like a bouncing fairy king, and nobody can help King. And basically, after he beats King senseless, he holds him and he puts him close to Diane. He says, "Watch, because the one you love is going to die, or the one you care about is trying to protect. You're not going to be able to." And as he tries to do it, all of a sudden he sees this invincible barrier around Diane, and all the tentacles, like a lot of them, were just like trying to mincemeat Diane, and basically they all got stopped by this magical barrier. And King said he put all his strength into protecting her, and Helbram's like, why would you do that, blah blah blah. And then King basically ends the episode with that he's gonna beat him, or he's stronger, or something of that nature. The King is ready to fight seriously, or something to that effect. And then at the very end credits, after the end credits, we see King have or rather a flashback of King leaving Elaine to go help Helbram, who apparently has left the forest, and as King is trying to help him with something, Helbram appears in his human form and slices him with a sword and makes him fall down into like a river or something. So that was the episode. Also, Elizabeth. Elizabeth met Margaret. Hawk tried to beat up the mage girl that teleported him and Elizabeth, but the mage girl teleported the pig away to somewhere else, and Elizabeth, I think, was taken by the mage girl again somewhere, because at the end Margaret is free to leave the prison, but she doesn't, and we don't really know the reason why, but the mage girl said that, you know, and when I mean mage girl, the one that's teleporting, she said that Margaret chose this of her own free will, she told Elizabeth, probably because of blackmail or something of that nature. But yeah, that was the episode. Another great episode of Seven Deadly Sins, giving that an 8 out of 10 for the epic team-up of Hauser and Guila on the side of good. Diane still being a boss and getting up, you know, despite all the damage taken to her, and you know, just the fights in general. I'm not really too into the whole King and, you know, his whole fairy background and everything, but maybe it'll get better. So let me know what you thought about the episode in the comments below. Please rate this video and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you, and have a nice night.